Welcome back to another episode of Seduce Me. I can't wait to find out what happens today. Come along and play with me. Next. Huh? Who's texting me this early?
Yo, Anderson! You're carpooling with us from now on. We're not letting you waste your money on a bus. Get ready and be at your gate at 7 stat.
I smiled. My friends were the best. I couldn't drive, and yet I didn't have a car, so it'd be awesome that my friends would let me carpool. I checked the time. 6:30. Perfect. I can get some breakfast before they come. Packed my bag and carried it downstairs towards the kitchen. As I entered the dining room, I saw a plate with eggs, toast, and bacon sitting on the table. A fresh steaming cup of coffee sitting next to the plate with sugar and creamer on the side. I walked to the table. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Who made this? As I spoke aloud, a small red note caught my attention. Have a good day. Yours. My heart skipped a beat. I could tell it was from one of the boys. Maybe it was from him? I smiled, putting the note in my bag and eating up. The food was so delicious. I devoured every amazing bite. I looked at the time again. Time to go. I quickly rushed to the doors, checking myself in the passing mirror. I wasn't wanting to impress anyone, but I still needed to look decent. Before I could reach the handle of the door, someone took my hand. Huh? I turned to see Eric, who was holding my hand back with a concerned frown on his face.
My name.
Your name?
My true name isn't Eric, miss. I want you to know my real name, if something were to happen.
His true name? What did he mean? Why is he telling me this now? I remember reading about a demon's name from the journal I read yesterday. If you knew a demon's true name, you can summon them to you, no matter where you were or where they were. Eric gently pulled me to him and leaned close to whisper in my ear.
My name is Uzeris.
Uzeris. As he said his name, I could feel it lock into my memory. Something in my head would make sure I would never forget it. He pulled away and smiled at me despite still carrying worry in his eyes.
If you are in any danger, call my name. I promise that I'll come and help you.
I stared up at him, unable to say anything. I can only nod in response. Eric smiled before kissing my hand and heading into the dining room. Something told me that name would be used eventually. And right on cue, Naomi drove up to the gates with Susie, waving me down. I rushed out the door and we headed to school, talking about homework and the coming day. A wave of relief ran through my body at the thought of never having to deal with that group again. At the same time, a ping of realization hit the back of my mind. The boys were only going to stay until after Malix was defeated. That was our deal. As we approached home, I could feel something heavy weigh down on my heart. It was late, but the boys led me inside and turned on the lights in the lobby.
Finally, we can relax.
It will be good to have some rest without devils breathing down our necks.
I'm just tired. Can I hit the hay early?
I think some sleep would be good for all of us.
I looked at Damien, knowing he could read my mind, and frowned. I didn't want him to know my thoughts on this particular situation. Yeah, bed sounds good. I just wanted to end tonight. Too much had happened, and I felt dizzy just from trying to figure it out. However, Damien spoke up, stopping all of us from moving.
Should we be gone in the morning?
The air became still with tension. The realization of the situation hit the boys like a wave, forcing them to turn to me in curiosity. Hi, sweetie. They remembered their deal, and now were waiting for me to decide their fate. I gulped. Face to face with the reality of the situation, the boys were leaving, and it was up to me. They looked like they were willing to accept whatever I had demanded. It was only fair, though, after all that had happened. Should we let the boys leave, or should we let them stay? What do you think, Justice? Should we let them stay? I think so, too. I looked to Eric, feeling my heart flutter in my chest. I didn't want him to leave, but would he even ask me to stay? I hoped that he would say no and ask me to stay longer. As if he knew what I wanted, Eric moved and stepped to me, gently moving a strand of hair from my face to behind my ear. He stared into my eyes and spoke, gently stroking my cheek.
Princess, you've been such a wonderful help to us already. But I'm afraid that I must ask more of you. I've grown fond of being here and of serving you. Would you allow us to stay?
My heart skipped while a large red blush ran across my cheeks. The boys stared at Eric wide-eyed, but didn't dare to speak out. Eric stepped back to give me space, returning to where he was. I moved my gaze across each boy. Trying to make my decision. If they left in the morning, I would never see them again, and my life could return to normal. If I did decide to let them go, that would have been for the best. No goodbyes, no delays. But did I want to? They have done so much for me in such a small amount of time. I wanted them to stay. I wanted him to stay. I merely smiled, staring at the man that I've come to have feelings for, before speaking at last. I would love it if you could all stay. The boys cheered tiredly, but nonetheless enthusiastically. I giggled at the sight. It was cute to see everyone excited, despite the tiredness that ran equally through our bodies. It had been a rough day. My home is your home, as long as you can still help me with the chores. They nodded in unison, agreeing with the terms that I had set for them. Despite the good situation, I felt myself slowly slipping into unconsciousness. However, quickly, James clapped his hands together, gaining everyone's attention and waking me up, making sure I didn't pass out on the floor.
All right, everyone. We're all very tired, so let's head to bed, shall we?
Oh! Yeah, sleep is actually a thing. Right.
We've had a very long day, but it will be good to just relax tonight and tomorrow.
Sleep sounds really good right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
I watched a very happy smile grow onto Eric's lips. He shared my excitement knowing that we would be together longer. Who knew how long we would stay together? All I cared was that I would be with him. The others quickly left to final rest, leaving me and Eric alone at last. My heart kind of fluttered a bit as he walked closer to me, gently wrapping his arms around my waist. I placed my hands onto his shoulders, and I leaned in close to him.
Yet again, you spoil me. I'm very unworthy of you, Princess.
Hush. I wanted you to stay. I stared up into his eyes, getting lost in them. I didn't know if it was the tiredness or my growing attachment to him, but I felt myself lean into Eric's body and invited me to stay for a while, making me forget that my bed was also calling for me.
Listen, about what happened at the warehouse.
No, it's fine. You did what you had to. I understand. And I kind of want to see more. I accepted everything while in Eric's warmth. He was real and was someone I didn't want to be without, even if that meant nodding against my curiosity. Besides, I was too tired to explore that memory further. He nodded before kissing my forehead sweetly.
Come, let's get you to bed.
I nodded before Eric gently lifted me up into his arms like a bride carried me into my room. I didn't want to leave his arms. Leaning my head against Eric's chest, But eventually I was slowly lowered into my bed and covered with my sheets. I was still in my school clothes, but I was too tired to strip or even give a care. I looked to Eric, fighting a yawn, and that was escaping me, as he gently ran a hand over my hair.
Have a good night, princess. I'll prepare breakfast for you in the morning.
I nodded, with a tired smile before watching him slowly stand and leave my room and closing the door. A wave of happiness washed over me as I laid into the bed. I made a good choice. Sure, it'd be hard, but I can tell that I would be able to manage it. Help was all around the house, and being with a man whom I was slowly starting to fall for would be worth it. I slowly felt my exhaustion take over, and I let sleep consume me as I drifted into the darkness of my mind. Everything was peaceful. I was happy.
You are an interesting creature.
I opened my eyes to see a woman staring down at me with a very slight smirk on her face. I opened my mouth to scream in fright, but her hand quickly covered my mouth.
No screaming now. Too early, silly girl.
I can only stare up at the woman above me. I still feel weak, not having the strength to move or fight her off. What was going on? And why was she here?
Why do the boys like you? You're unique, yes, but that can't be all that you have going for you.
Rage began to consume my core again. This woman, whoever she was making me mad. She must have known, as she let another smirk grow on her face.
Ooh, you're feisty. That could be why.
Before I can bite her hand in anger, she removed her hand from my lips, standing up and staring down at me from her place next to my bed. I quickly sat up and glared daggers at the intruder. She was beautiful, but I felt more anger than amazement. Who the hell are you? And why the fuck are you in my room? The woman began to laugh, making me rage inside. I wanted to punch her, but I waited to have the answer.
How silly of me. I forgot that we demons are not well known of in your world. You can call me Diana, little human.
Diana? Demon? You're a demon?
I am, but I'm much more than just an average demon.
What do you mean?
Silly girl. I'm a succubus.
I stared at Diana in shock. A succubus? First incubi, now a succubus? Great. Now I had met both genders of sex demons. Diana crossed her arms in front of her bosom and looked at my body.
Well, you are pretty.
Damn right.
But you seem very reckless. Too reckless.
I moved out and stood from the bed, still glaring at her. Why are you here?
Well, I just wanted to see who my competition was.
Competition?
For the boys, of course. They don't belong here, and yet here they remain. I want to know why, and remedy this little issue.
This girl was seriously pissing me off. Meow, bitch. Issue? What issue? They want to stay here so they can.
Silly, uneducated human. You don't understand the important roles these boys play in the abyssal planes. You keeping them here is practically imprisonment.
You have about 10 seconds to leave.
Is that a threat? How cute. What are you going to do? Kill me?
And if I do?
You barely have the strength to stand, little human. I can rip the rest of your energy out and knock you into a coma. You'll never be able to wake up again.
Touch me and I'll...
Enjoy every minute of it.
I felt my body freeze and heat up to almost a painful haze. My mind began to feel fuzzy as Diana stepped up to me and caressed my cheek.
Now, you're going to listen to everything I say without any questions. Got it?
Wow, today's episode was crazy. Who would have thought that would have happened to us? Make sure you join us tomorrow. We have a lot more fun planned.